Yes, it's true. Love is a very powerful thing, Catsy.
Then you do care about me. You'll join me. Fight by my side.
I said love is a powerful thing that can be used to manipulate simps like you.
You can't mean that, I know. I failed you, but I can do this if you believe in me. Tell me you believe in me.
Pah! This is world domination, not a popularity contest. Anyway, you've been wearing so much perfume lately, I can't stand to be anywhere near you!
Moon Podcast Escalation! My name is Jordan D. White.
My name is Chris Sims, and this is Sailor Business. It's the podcast where we sit down with a friend each and every week and watch an episode of the classic 1992 Sailor Moon anime and break it down and talk about how great it is and just why it is that we love it so much. And this week, oh snap, this is where things are starting to get weird and awesome for Sailor Moon R and the Spectre Sisters. It is Sailor Moon R episode 70, Battle of the Flames of Love, Mars vs. Cohen. And I cannot think of a more perfect guest for this episode than the guest we have. Betty Felon is back once again. Number one Mars fan, number one Cohen fan.
Yes, thank you for having me back. I'm really excited to talk about this episode because it's basically my two of my favorite characters. They're not really fighting per se, but it's exciting because they're directly interacting.
Yeah.
In a very weird way, for the second time, which is mentioned once and then is never mentioned again.
Yeah. It's just exciting because like it's a weird interpersonal like connection that they both have with each other after this episode. But it's not like really, I don't know, it's really cool. Because it seems like they have a lot of disagreements about what love is, but they both don't seem to really understand what love is.
Do you have a preference between Catsy and Cohen?
Catsy.
So you like the cigarette voice?
Yeah, I don't know. I grew up with the dubs, and I grew up with them as like Catsy, Avery, Birdie, Prisma. Yeah, I don't know. It's I liked Catsy. Well, the thing is also because I can't tell because I'm just watching the subs this time around. But is the dub is her voice different in the dub? The new dub.
In the new dub?
Yeah.
Yeah, her voice is different.
Is it just like a normal girl voice or?
It's good, but it is not. It's probably not as kind of over the top distinctive as her original Deke dub voice, as most of the voices are not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like the original Deke, just for the listeners, the original Deke dub, she's got a very deep voice and a very gravelly voice, and I called it the cigarette voice because again, it sounds like she's been smoking a pack a day for a while. She's like, "Hi, my name's Cats." I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not joking. Hi, I'm Catsy. I'm gonna get those Sailor Scouts. Like that's kind of what she sounds like.
Yeah, I think what I like about it now as a grown up is the fact that she is very the sisters in general. I always perceive them to be older than the Sailor Scouts, that they're well in their late 20s, if not early 30s. But all the Sailor Moon women, it's hard to tell, aside from height and clothing, how old they are. And because they're very posh looking and really cool high fashion, I always thought that they were they skewed well over mother age. I don't know, it's I think the Catsy voice was so distinct to me because I'm like, oh, she's clearly a woman.
Yeah,
she's clearly a woman who's seen shit, or seen stuff.
For the 5-year-olds out there.
Yeah.
For the 5-year-olds, they've seen stuff.
And
they've seen stuff.
Cigarettes, we mean candy cigarettes.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. It's like Catsy's like this, and then Birdie's like this. I've got a very high voice. I don't really remember Avery and Prisma's voices that well.
Yeah, me neither.
I just put together that their names are Catsy and Birdie. by the way.
Yeah,
Just
it's-
now?
Like, I mean, I knew their names. I knew that was their names, but I never put together Catsy and Birdie. Because like Avery and Prisma don't like go together
No, not that much.
in that way, but Catsy and Birdie certainly have a competitive strain to them.
But yeah, I don't know. I really, really like Catsy. I do like Gohan too, but I think that's what's so nice about voice acting and dubs and stuff is that it can drastically change, or not drastically change, but it can just be another facet of how this character is portrayed and how they can be read, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with a character like Catsy, because you just see pictures of her, she can either look very fierce and like, you know, very, very like a cool woman in charge of herself. And then other times she just looks like a very sweet and like, you know, very, very, I guess, cat-like, because that's what she looks like. But you know, there are a lot of like really lovey-dovey scenes with her where she's very like, you know, adorable and like she's clearly love-struck and she seems really super sweet. And I don't know, I think that's kind of a cool balance piece where you can either have her sound like, you know, your standard woman, or you could have her sound like a gruff kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I think that just sounds cooler when she has like gravelly voice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way more interesting.
Well, I've talked before about how going back and rewatching it as an adult and going back and rewatching the show for Sailor Business, one thing that I love more than I ever did as a kid is seeing the Dark Kingdom, the Four Kings of Heaven and Beryl interact with each other, and seeing the Black Moon Clan interact with each other. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we get so much of that and that it becomes a thing with the Black Moon Clan where they're around as a unit for so long, like the Spectre Sisters are around for so long, that then we start to see them kind of going one by one. And, you know, they basically become a team of Nephrites, right?
Mhm.
Like, because they all, spoiler warning, they all get a redemption arc in a very weird sort of way. But 2 episodes ago, Cohen and Bertier were arguing about who could kill a child first. Like, just casually talking about, like, just beating cats against walls and arguing about who was going to have the pleasure of murdering a 5-year-old.
Yep.
So I love that about them, because we do get that, you know, they are kind of gloriously evil in their
Yeah.
way, but they still come off as people. Like, they're cartoonish people, but they still come off as people who, you know, kind of bicker amongst each other.
Let me defend them slightly. Slightly.
Right. They have attempted several times to murder a 5-year-old, but go ahead, Jordan.
Yes,
Please
I'm going
defend them.
to. The plot of the arc, aside from murdering a 5-year-old, is about that they can go back in time and take over these crystal points and imbue them with dark energy, which will make them in the future useful to the bad guys instead of the good guys. This concept of dark energy, they kind of allude to it in this episode towards the end. You could argue that part of the reason they are as evil as they are is because they too are living in and being taken over by and thriving in dark energy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's at the end of the episode, because there is a very, like I said, they're redeemed in a very weird way. So I think maybe we should save that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But before we get to talking about the episode itself, now, obviously, Betty, we've talked to you a little bit about Catsy and Cohen and the Spectre Sisters, and I'm sure we're going to get into that more in the episode. You have been on this show more than anyone who is not me or Jordan. So if people want to hear about your history with Sailor Moon, go all the way back to episode 4 of this show and listen to Betty's first appearance. But Jordan, I think we have some listener questions from Twitter coming in, right?
Sure we do. We absolutely do. And we definitely always need more. So please tweet us at Sailor Business with your questions for our Twitter questions segment.
Did not give that out at the end of the show last week, I don't think. But
That's fine. People know. So here we go. Gary wants to know, in an alternate reality, Jack Kirby writes and draws Sailor Moon instead of New Gods. What would it be like?
I think it would probably be exactly like New Gods.
with more female characters, right?
With more female characters, with more than just Big Barda and Beautiful Dreamer. But you know, it is kind of very easy to map that, because you have the Moon Kingdom, you know, the Silver Millennium, and you have the Dark Kingdom. That I feel like you could very easily do a 1-for-1 with at least the Dark Kingdom and Apocalypse, right? Like, Beryl is Darkseid, obviously.
Well, but is she, because she turned out not to be the ultimate bad guy?
Look, Queen Metalia doesn't really matter.
I mean, I'm with you, but I'm just saying. Sure. Now, here's another big difference. On the other side, Sailor Moon has a mother who was the head of everything, but she's long dead, and that's a big difference from New Gods, right?
That's true. I guess in order to make it work, Usagi would have to be Beryl's daughter. Raised by Queen Serenity.
Yeah, that's weird.
We got a lot of really great Sailor Moon by Rob Liefeld drawings.
We did.
When that was a topic of discussion. We got a couple of really amazing Chibiusa as Cable drawings, which I loved. So if anybody out there wants homework for this week, draw some Jack Kirby Sailor Scouts. I would love to see that.
That'd be so cool.
With their hands extended towards the camera.
Always. Busting through.
That's great. And I guess this must have been like right after an episode where we talked about it was probably when we talked about Cable and Chibi Moon, because the next question is also a comic book Sailor Moon thing, which is Paul Siebert asking, would 2001 Ultimate Sailor Moon be a slice of life like Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man, or shocking like Miller's Ultimates?
Oof.
I think it'd be more likely to be a Bendis style, like she doesn't turn into Sailor Moon every issue necessarily.
I feel like the anime is Ultimate Sailor Moon, right? Because it takes the events of the comic, but it does them, it draws them out a lot more. Like, the first 6 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man are the first 15 pages in Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
So getting everything super drawn out is kind of what the anime does. Like, that's the source of the Monster of the Week stuff that I like, and also the weird stuff where Mars is a jerk for way longer than she should be.
No, I mean, but I disagree, actually, because the difference there being it's a different kind of drawing it out. This is the anime draws it out more like you're saying, more 90s style, where it's just more episodes, make more things happen in between those things. Ultimate Spider-Man style would be only the things that happen in the manga happen, but it just takes longer for them to happen. Which, again, I'm not saying that as an insult, but it's the kind of quote unquote writing for the trade dichotomy that happened later. So it would mean Sailor Moon would fight monsters over the course of 6 issues instead of 1.
That's true. But again, that's kind of what the anime does, though. Like look at how the 4 Kings of Heaven end up. Like, Jedi,
4 Kings of Heaven, but
Jedi's only around for 1 chapter of the manga.
But they still fight a different monster every week.
So I guess the monsters are like Peter Parker's long hair.
I definitely don't think
Peter
it would be
Parker
style.
Love that Peter Parker circa 2000 long hair, long skater cut.
See, I can imagine
bob that he has.
A Bendis Bagley Ultimate Sailor Moon, I can imagine, and I'm like, okay, I can dig that. A Miller and Hitch Ultimate Sailor Moon, I cannot imagine what that would be like.
I can imagine what it would be like, and I don't like what I see.
Speaking of imagining things, and obviously, Betty, we'll open this one up to you as well. If we could direct an episode of Sailor Moon, Antonio T. Strange asks, what would the monster of the week look like? I mean,
do you have a monster in mind?
Well, I think I would like to see one that's inspired by since I've been watching so much like Kamen Rider stuff lately, I feel like I would love to see like a Kamen Rider inspired villain, like a Kamen Rider as a villain.
Talking about Red Man, because we've had Red Man.
Was he not like a Power Ranger?
But he was a Kamen Rider.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember him. I should look at that one. Yeah,
Red Man was not actually the monster, unfortunately. But you want like a full on like motorcycle riding grasshopper, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like
that would be fun.
Yeah. I don't know, because there's so many villains in Sailor Moon that I already like that I can't, like, it's almost like I can't really imagine what else I'd want, besides just, I guess, a boy thing I like, maybe a literal Batman.
Literal?
A literal Batman.
You mean like a man bat?
Yeah, I guess a man bat.
No, it's funny because we've already seen the pro wrestling monster, which is exactly the pro wrestling monster I would have made for this show, the Bull Nakano monster. So yeah, I don't know what other of my usual interests would make for a good monster.
Yeah, because like everyone else is just like, various animals that I already like turning into monsters. Maybe I don't know, maybe a raccoon. I like raccoons. I don't think there's a raccoon villain. If they
Of a monster with tiny little humanish hands.
Yeah, maybe a raccoon monster.
How about I would like to direct a summer vacation episode where they go to a cabin in the woods and there's a murderer.
just a human murderer.
Yep.
Kind of like that.
Just narrowing my eyes. I'm just looking at my microphone right now as though it is Jordan, just frowning.
Just like I actually I think it would be kind of cool seeing them like stop just a normal crime. Or having to deal with a real actual criminal, and that's their like special episode, and they're like, what the hell was that? Like
my favorite monsters are the ones that tend to be stuff, right? That tend to be objects, like based on objects, and that holds true with like Super Sentai with Kamen Rider and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I did consider saying a ukulele monster, but I decided it would be too silly.
Yeah, I think like that I think would be more likely to happen than just the girls get murdered.
Well, they're not going to lose. They'll be fine.
But
they do have to bring a few nameless friends, though.
They're going to have the very real threat of they could get murdered.
Poor Naru in that episode. Naru and Umino not making it out. Sorry, guys. No, but I would love to see like a coffee monster. Like, have we seen a coffee monster yet?
No.
Like a big like coffee maker monster with a big pot of boiling coffee that she would throw at people.
Nice. I like it.
That would be fun. Like a coffee and donuts monster, I think would be really fun. I really want coffee and donuts right now. Donuts.
Pretty great monster. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? I think we do, of course. Here we go. Teens with Tude asks, if the Dark Kingdom had mooks/soldiers a la the Power Ranger putties, what would they be? And how about the Black Moon Clan or Alan and Anne?
Yeah, they don't really have like foot soldiers. I guess like the Dark Kingdom would have to be some kind of rocks, right? Like they'd have to have like little rock monsters.
I mean, actually, what's funny is they have, if you remember, a zillion people. It's not like they couldn't.
Like everybody, all those monsters exist. Like they don't make a new monster every week. They've just got an army hanging out.
They just attack one at a time.
I feel like they realize that for Alan and Anne, because with like Alan and Anne are like, oh, we've got the Cardians. We need to make a monster every week. Like with the Dark Kingdom, it was just like, yep, they're all down there. They're all hanging out.
They're just like it's like they're at an employment office just waiting for their call.
Yeah, like why didn't they ever send two then? Like that really raises a question you don't want your fans asking.
I think the Black Moon Kingdom or clan would have like mannequins.
Oh,
yeah, like
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
I feel like Alan and Anne would just have like cards, right? Like the Queen of Hearts has in Alice in Wonderland. They just have like a bunch of 2s and 3s.
Oh, that'd be really cool. Or
I was figuring plant monsters.
Yeah, like sproutlings or something, like some kind of plants that just
Groots.
Yeah, yeah.
But it turns out that the evil Doom Hell Makai tree isn't actually evil.
Yeah.
So
I guess it'd be the cards.
They could be taking clippings from it and growing them and sending them out, and then it turns out like it's not evil. But like that doesn't change what they did.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fun question. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask this question in hopes that this is one of those things that Chris will get that I don't. Daniel the Historian asks, who is worst, Terry Long or Mamoru Chiba?
You don't know about Terry Long?
I don't think I do. Who's that?
Betty knows about Terry Long.
Terry Long? I don't know off the top of my head. Who's Terry Long?
Donna Troy's boyfriend.
Oh, that guy. Ew.
Yeah, okay. That guy. That grosso.
Oh, Terry Long is clearly worse.
The guy who is like legitimately 15 years older than Donna Troy.
Yeah, and he always carries around a camera.
Ooh.
Like, yeah. And he has.
And he quotes Saturday Night Live. and he has a kid from a failed marriage. And he's an English professor who's dating a student.
He's a
He's
redhead with a beard. He does not look like a young man.
No,
In the
he's
picture that I'm
not.
seeing right now.
He is much older.
And he just hangs around the Titans, hanging out, and it's just gross. And it's like, ugh. Yeah, I hated every scene that he would show up in.
Oh,
Yeah.
here he is as a rotting corpse with a dead baby from Black Lanterns, that classy series.
Yeah, that happened. That was the return of Terry Long. He literally dies off panel in a car crash.
Oh my.
Yeah, so Terry Long.
So he's
Way
like
worse.
Mamoru's parents, in other words.
Oh,
Maybe
He's
he's
way worse.
Mamoru's dad.
Ugh, that would explain a lot.
there's I believe in Google Images. There's a panel of him where I think he's talking about like Donna Troy screaming and how she screams a lot from nightmares. And he says something like, "Oh, I can't even imagine what the neighbors think I'm doing to her."
Bam! I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, he constantly says things like that. He constantly says
So
things.
gross. Like, yeah, that's it. That's
and
it.
It's presented, and it is presented as though he's like a super cool guy. Like the first time, I think it's in his first appearance. Donna is taking some fashion photographs of Starfire,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's there, and he's like, "Hey, baby, I didn't know you had such a hot friend."
Yeah.
And then at the end of the page, Starfire's like, "Who was that super cool guy?" Who's obviously really awesome.
Did you write an article about this? Because I just found a link to Comics Alliance pictures of him.
Yes, I have written it pretty extensively about Terry Long and how he sucks super hard.
Yep, it's a link to an Ask Chris.
So
Yep.
gross.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I get it, guys. I get why you guys aren't crazy about Mamo-chan, but
I love him.
okay, you love him now. Okay.
No, I've always loved him. It's
Jordan's always loved him.
Oh, okay.
Jordan loves him. I am the one who's like,
you
that
just
guy's-
don't like Sailor Chibi Moon.
Yeah, I didn't like Greenie at all, and I still
Yeah.
think she's annoying, but I like how annoying she is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Mamo, for what he does, and also considering the chemistry of most other characters in Sailor Moon, I don't know. He's nowhere near Terry Long.
Good.
I that's a name I try not to say that often because I realize I just totally blocked out Terry Long all completely because I really don't like him.
Yeah, fully agreed. Memo on his worst day is better than Terry on his best.
Yeah. Also, just that Mama at least is hot. He's a very cute. Terry Long is not. You don't ever want to see him.
That tuxedo mask is shredded.
Yeah, that was great. That was pretty good.
Anyway.
Is that about it? Is that about it for Twitter questions, Jordan?
Yeah, we can stop there for now. But send us more.
Remember, if you'd like to send us more, it's at Sailor Business on Twitter, and of course you can email the show with anything that you'd like to talk about at sailorbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. Once again, I do want to just let everybody know we do have guests booked up through the end of R, which is the next 6 months. But I will be circling back around to some folks when we start in on S. So be advised. I'm sure we'll put out the call for guests again relatively soon.
Basically,
but for now,
I mean, the S is the beginning of basically everybody's favorite scouts. So I'm sure people will be jumping at us to be on those episodes.
Oh, we've already got people like, hey, when you hit S, let me know. So for now, it's time for us to watch the 70th episode of Sailor Moon, Battle of the Flames of Love, Mars versus Cohen. And we are opening...
Wait, Chris, you forgot everybody's new favorite segment.
Oh, you're right. I forgot both segments. I forgot my recap, and I forgot your title segment.
I said everybody's favorite segment. Not
how dare you? It is look, my recaps are everybody's favorite 3 seconds of the show.
So, Chris, what was the name of the episode in Japan?
The name of the episode is Battle of the Flames of Love, Mars versus Cohen.
Okay, well, the Deke episode was not, again, anything to do with that. Nothing to do with that at all. Do you want any hint beyond that, or you just want to guess?
Give me a small hint, if you got a small hint.
Here's a small hint. Spoiler.
Okay. It's gotta be like, Catsy turns good or something.
Like in that
Right?
direction,
Like
yes.
Catsy's final battle.
It does not actually mention Catsy.
Okay, I don't know. What is it?
Enemies no more.
Which is a little misleading because there are 4 Spectre sisters and also Rubius.
Well, and that's the last 5 seconds of the episode is enemies no more. Like up until then.
So as far as the recap goes, like, do we need it this week? Can we just jump right in?
Why don't you do a special recap centered on Catsy?
Okay. I'll do a recap centered on Cohen.
Cohen.
Can you give me like 5 seconds for this?
6, because it's a new character.
Yeah, I'll have to explain a lot. So, okay. Here we go. In the future, the distant future of Neo Crystal Tokyo, the planet Nemesis has returned to the solar system, bringing with it the Black Moon Clan. Now,
And
they exist outside.
Don't forget that the planet Nemesis is actually a moon.
The planet Nemesis is actually the black moon of the sun, aka a planet. So they exist outside of the kingdom of Neo Queen Serenity, who is 1,014 years old. She's a Cancer. Her blood type is O. You figure out the rest from that. So the Black Moon Clan is at war with Neo Crystal Tokyo. In order to win this war, they have decided to go back in time 1,000 years in the past to take over crystal points with dark energy. And we have sent our top Black Moon Clan soldiers at the behest of their commander, Wise Man, and his energy swirling hands. So we have Rubius, who's in charge of everything. He's a jerk. He wears camouflage cargo pants and a tank top, like a real cool guy, looking like 2007 John Cena. And he has his henchwomen, the Spectre Sisters. Now that's Pets, Calaveras, Bertier, and Cohen. Cohen is, I think, all of our favorite Spectre sister, right? Like, she's great.
I don't know. Birdie's pretty great too.
Yeah, Birdie's also
pretty
really
great.
good.
But I feel like Cohen has the best look of all of them.
Yes.
I don't know. Don't you remember Birdie's like Southern Belle look that she was?
Oh!
Birdie's civilian clothes are awesome. Like, Birdie's like disguise clothes are really, really great.
Yeah.
But Cohen's uniform is a thing of beauty, and I love her cat ear hair. So Cohen, aka Catsy, aka Catface Meowmers, is I believe the youngest of the Spectre sisters. Is that right?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm pretty sure she is.
They told us last episode or 2 episodes ago.
Yes. She has the ability to shoot out dark fire and has previously been involved in a couple of different attempts to take over crystal points, including one that involved going and taking over Hikawa Shrine, during which she interacted extensively with Rei Hino and her grandfather and with Yuichiro, aka Chad. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Mm-hmm. But as we are about to find out, Catsy isn't only motivated by evil, she is also motivated by love.
So we start the episode in the Dark Kingdom, where they pull something that we just were referring to. It's a very Sailor Moon move, or to quote Star Wars, your favorite thing in the world, there's always a bigger fish. They go, by the way, there's another bad guy on the top of this chart that we didn't tell you about before.
Jordan, if you're going to quote Star Wars,
there's always a bigger fish.
It can't be episode 1.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and put that rule down right now. Also, I'm pretty sure that is not where that phrase originated.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. Language.
There's always
the idea of metaphor.
I don't know, man.
Ugh. Anyway, go on.
The point is that even though so they introduced this group, and it's like Rubius is the leader of this group, and then they're like a few episodes later, no, there's a wise man who tells him what to do. And in this episode, the wise man calls up and is like, my boss, Prince Demand, is real pissed off. How far up does this chain go?
Look, they're an army. There's like a lot of people involved with the Black Moon Clan.
These are just wieners? Like, these are not important guys?
Wow. Hey out there. Jordan thinks that if you're in the army and you're not the general, you're a wiener.
That's not what I meant. I'm just saying.
I support our troops, on the other hand.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the Sailor Scouts are the main good guys on the good guy side. And they're fighting the ground level troops. They should be fighting the highest echelons of Dark Kingdomness.
Like, what you're talking about is that, like, you thought there were 6 people and there's 7 people.
No, who knows, man? Who knows how high it goes? Who knows?
I mean, it goes, like, I can tell you, it goes up to 7 people. That's all we're gonna get.
Now, don't they call him Prince Diamond in other stuff?
Yes, he is called Prince. I believe he's called Prince Diamond in English.
In this, they called him Prince Demand in the dub. In the sub, I mean.
With an E.
Yeah.
With an E at the end.
Demand Day.
Yeah, maybe Demand.
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 At any rate, Prince Demand is very upset. And if Rubius doesn't hurry it up, he might get fired. And Rubius is not happy at this prospect.
Which is weird, because they say he's going to get fired, as opposed to being, like, killed. Like, we kind of know what it means when you're fired from the Dark Kingdom. Like, what does it mean when you're fired from the Black Moon Clan? Are you just going to, like, is he just going to have to go get a new job? Is he going to be working at Bob Floy for the next 1,000 years?
Spoiler for the rest of the episode, Chris. Anyway, so Wise Man goes, oh, by the way, I can see the future because I'm from the future, so it's the past. and I know for a fact.
By the way, it's a lot less impressive to be able to see the past than to see the future.
Right. So he says, especially because he's not that good at it. His thing that he sees is at some point in the afternoon, she's going to be at the shrine. The rabbit's going to be at the shrine. So deal with that.
Yeah. Now, previously, they could tell that she was going to be at an overpass.
Yeah. Yes. So she's going to be at the shrine, and he goes, "Oh, no problem. That's in Cohen's district. Apparently, like they have like areas that they are supposed to."
Apparently, they've divided Juban up, and so everybody's in charge of operations in a particular area, which is actually like something that they did with the Four Kings of Heaven in the first season. Like, I don't think it ever made it to the anime, but in the manga, it specified that like Jedi is in charge of Asia. Right. And I think it was Malachite who was in charge of Europe or something. So everybody had like their different area that they were responsible for until they were like, oh no, it's all just going to be in Japan. It's all just going to be in Juban, a district of Tokyo. It's going to be in this 10-block area.
So, and then this is again. Cool guy Rubius. Wise Man goes, oh, hold on, Cohen, you're sending Cohen. Because here's the deal. I see bad things around Cohen. Something terrible is going to happen to her. And Rubius goes, so what? I don't give a fuck.
That dude does not care.
See, but it's different. It's showing how he reacts differently to this omen versus how Mamo-chan reacted differently to such a, to show that Mamo really does love Sailor Moon, but this guy doesn't give any craps about Katsuie.
Yep. He does not care about Katsuie. So, Cut to Rei Hino shopping and making Yuichiro carry everything she bought.
Yeah.
You're talking about the hot-headed psychic, Rei Hino?
I am talking about that. The one-quarter monster, hot-headed psychic.
One-quarter monster. That's true. And she is in, we talk about the outfits every now and then. And Betty, you're a very fashionable person. What do you think of Ray's amazing full-on 80s businesswoman power suit that she's rocking?
I love it. Well, also because I feel like it fits in with the scene where she's just like, yeah, carry my stuff. Like, I don't know. It feels like such an 80s shopping montage in a teen movie. I love it.
Yeah, she's great.
I just want to take a quick opportunity to mention that the geek dub for this episode is great. Whoever did the adaptation, or rather the localization, as they sometimes call it, was awesome. There's lots of fun moments and lots of detail and lots of character bits just in the way that people say things. That is terrific in this episode. It's a really, really good episode. I'm pretty sure. So what happens right here is Rei is making Yuichiro carry all her stuff. I don't think there's ever an explanation for that other than that's what
he does.
Do to men. Yeah, like they make you go shopping and carry stuff. That's like the cliche. In the Deke dub, it's because that's the deal they made. If she allowed him to sing while they were working at the shrine, he has to make it up to her by going a full day of shopping with her. There's a lot of like nice little details like that.
That's cute.
It's fun.
Of course, since Ray has bought so many things, because, you know, women be shopping. His vision is obscured, and he ends up running into someone as someone comes out of a store.
Someone
And who is it?
Wait, no, hold on. Someone who also is a woman and also bought so many things that she has carrying them over her eyesight as well. So
That's right.
I guess
And it's Cohen. It's Katsy. They bump into each other on the street, and all their packages go everywhere. And Katsy is very angry, and Ray is also very angry. Ray's like, "Hey, idiot, pick up her stuff. You suck. I hate you."
Or in the Deke dub, she says, "What a nimbus."
Nimbus.
A nimbus.
Yep.
A nimbus.
Yep.
Well, that is ridiculous. What a nimbus. That's not even a... Canadians, you have a lot to answer for.
So
Now, did either of you catch the special guest appearance in this scene?
no.
No, who is it?
Well, he's only around for one frame,
What?
because when Yuichiro is picking up everything and he tries to hand everything back to Katsy, she gets super angry and hauls off and slaps Yuichiro in the face. Or I don't know if she slaps him or if she's just violently grabbing her bags back, but she definitely makes a slapping motion. And at the moment of contact, we get a big, burst effect. And if you are very quick to pause it, you will see there is a one frame appearance by Zoocyte.
What?
No. Did you freeze frame it? Do you have it?
I did. I freeze framed it.
Show us.
Oh, okay. Hang on. All right, I have sent you the screenshot. Do you have it? Can you see Zoocyte?
We're looking in the emails.
Oh.
It is a little chibi Zoocyte winking with a little
What?
heart
Why?
that just kind of shows up for no reason.
Oh my god, that's so cute. I want a pin of it.
That's great.
It's great. Like, I can only assume that whoever animated this episode was a big fan of Zoocyte, as we are.
Yeah, as they should be. That's so cute. I don't know why they would just... I mean, that's such a weird thing. How did you catch that? Were you just watching it and you just noticed it, or did you just pause it?
Yeah, like I just saw it. Like I said, it's a real quick flash of something, and I was like, was that Zoocyte? And then I went through and freeze framed it. There's also something right after the Zoocyte frame, but it's just like a weird like cartoon stick figure with something written on its shirt in Japanese, a language I do not speak or read. So I wish I could tell you. I do think it's interesting that there's a quick Zoocyte reference though, because this is the episode like where Katsy, Cohen, has a very Zoocyte-esque relationship with Rubius.
Yeah.
Very close to what Zoocyte and Kunzite's relationship was, where Rubius doesn't care, like Katsy's clearly in love, but Rubius does not care at all, just like Kunzite did not care about Zoocyte and was only using him.
Aww.
So anyway, nice little Zoocyte appearance.
Yeah.
Little
That's so cute.
freeze frame extra for everybody.
So then they do... I mean, because here's the thing. As soon as they bump into each other, my brain immediately went to, wait, they know each other. Like, they've met.
They know each other. They've met. Like, she even mentions, like, oh, hey, he's the guy from the Protection Aesthetics class from, like, 5 or 6 episodes ago.
Right. But
And-
neither of them recognize her.
None of them recognize her, and she doesn't recognize Ray later.
Yeah.
And the thing is, none of them are in disguise.
I mean, you might argue...
Katsy has different about her appearance is that she doesn't have a giant jewel on her forehead.
Yeah, that's a very distracting jewel.
It's a very distracting jewel. Would it distract you from purple cat ears hair?
That's true. That's true. He's too busy being embarrassed. At any rate, the point is, Yuichiro/Chad does not recognize her at all. And she calls him a loser and walks away with her stuff.
Yes, and Yuichiro does say, hey, I've seen her somewhere before. He does not say, hey, she tried to kill your grandfather one time. Remember when she tried to murder Grandpa and you got like stomped in the back by a Bull Nakano monster?
And I don't know why she gets so judgy, because she also walks away thinking to herself, guys like him will never find happiness.
Well,
and I'm
he's obviously not as cool as Rubius. But I mean, that is a recurring theme in the episode that in terms of romance and love, like Cohen is kind of a huge hypocrite, right? Like
Yeah. Well, also because she is witnessing the polar opposite of Rubius, which is someone who clearly loves Ray so much that he is just doing these chores for her.
Yeah.
You know? And she's never experienced that with the person she loves. So she's like, oh, well, clearly they don't know. Like, this is weird. I don't know why you're doing this for her. He'll never find happiness the way that my man finds happiness without me, you know?
Yeah, she definitely admires Rubius's confidence / aloof attitude / complete lack of affection for her.
I don't know, man. So she angrily walks home and angrily stalks into the Dark Kingdom.
Angrily walks home through a mirror into a floating spaceship.
And then Rubius is like, what are you so angry about?
When Rubius looks at her, she is so anime. Like she has the biggest eyes, the tiniest mouth, and this big blush, and the eyes are all shimmering.
And there's that like love filter over it, where it's just like a little bit like Vaseline on the anime camera, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like hugest eyes, tiniest mouth, and then like it is the strong bad joke of, you know, your mouth is almost non-existent when closed, and then takes up half your head when it's open. So he tells her like, "Hey, Rabbit's going to be at Hikawa Shrine. That's your territory. Go deal with that." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll go kill Rabbit." And he's giving her this like hilarious look because it's totally a cool guy look, you know, like he's got his head turned and his eyes are like kind of half lidded.
Yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
So she's like, yeah, I'll kill that rabbit even if I die to do so. And he's like, sounds good. Check. That's what I was looking for.
Now, here's the thing that I can't figure out, because at this point she gives Rubius a present. She says, "Hey,
yeah, this is super
I got
weird.
you something.
Yeah.
I got you this perfume." And she gives him a little bottle of perfume. And she says, "I hope you'll wear it, Sir Rubius." And he looks at it like he's like, what the fuck is this? But then he looks up and goes, "I gratefully accept." And then looks her in the eye, like stares into her eyes while he crushes this glass bottle in his hand, and then goes, "Oh, sorry, don't know my own strength." And obviously Katzy is horrified. But my question is he being that much of a dick, or does he just really not like care and he really doesn't know his own strength?
I think he's being
doesn't
that much
realize
of a
he
dick.
needs to be careful with this. Like, because he stares into her face while he does it is the thing. It's so mean.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely deliberate, because also like he kind of says these offhanded comments where he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be wasting your time on makeup and cosmetics," and you know, even though it's a, you know, a little like it's a present that clearly she seems to like more than he does. Like he doesn't care about the gesture. I think he thinks it's just a waste of time. It's frivolous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's so mean. Like, but it's like.
But it's see, now what's weird is that he goes through the trouble of he kind of like, well, also I was going to say preserving deniability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't just go, "Why would I want this?" Like, in fact, in the Deke dub, he does. In the Deke dub, he goes, "I have no need of this," crushes it and drops it. But in this one, because he does that play of going, "Oh, thank you very much. I really am happy about it. Oh, oops."
You know what it totally reminds me of? It totally reminds me of in She's All That, when the mean girl quote unquote accidentally spills her drink on Rachel Lee Cook. And I'm kind of, and she's like, "Oops." It's kind of like that. That's how I feel like. It's like, kind of like, oh, I like it, which I think is kind of even worse than saying, "Oh, actually, I don't really like this present," or "Oh, I don't really have use for this present." Instead, he's kind of like, "Oh, oops, I'm so strong, and this present is so weak," you know?
First of all, Cohen should be heartbroken by this. Like, if it is meant to be intentional, like, he is not like playing it off to the level where obviously we're having trouble telling if he's serious or not. Well, but I feel like part of that is also a language thing where we can't really understand what he's saying in Japanese.
Well, and so there's this other anime that I watched back when I was in college called Peach Girl, and the main girl, like her name's Momo, which means peach, and she gets, and one of the big moments in the manga or the anime is that she gets a perfume from her boyfriend that smells like peaches. And at the point where he's trying to just cut off ties with her and like break up with her and just like really break her heart, he kind of like is like, oh, by the way, here's your perfume too. And he kind of like casually tosses it with intention of her probably not catching it, and then it shatters and she just cries. And that totally reminded me of this scene because it's such a weird, like, I think it's the carelessness of the gesture. Like, she cared so much and got him this thing, and then he just kind of like, oops, I broke it, don't care, you know?
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah, like that, and like that sucks. Like that's so mean.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a dick move.
Yeah.
But the thing that I wrote down was Rubius's hand is going to smell like perfume forever.
Yeah. Also, like, did he not cut his hand at all?
Nope.
No, he's too strong.
Because clearly the Black Moon Clan aren't impervious to cuts, as seen by Luna. You know, but Rubius, like, he's so strong he can crush his perfume and not have any perfume in his blood. You know,
in his blood. Yeah, that would sting.
Yeah, it would hurt.
You think he walks out of that room and like as soon as he goes through one of those mirrors, he's like, "Fuck! Ow! Oh my god!
Why did I do that?
And that was
why did I do that?
That was so unbelievably unnecessary."
Pets, please bring the tweezers. I need help. Calaveras, please get a bandage. So from there, we cut to Hikawa Shrine, where Koen shows up, and I have to say, like, the animation in this episode is really, really great, and the designs are really, really great too. Like we've talked about Bertier's civilian outfits before, but we get a really cool civilian outfit for Koen. She has this needlessly elaborate parasol with like lace trim and a ribbon on it and a little teddy bear handle. But also her outfit in general is like really, really cute. I like it a lot.
Something I thought was funny from the dub is that in this version, he's talking about, it's going to be sometime this afternoon, so I better like hang out and wait. In the DIC dub, because they have a shot of her looking at her watch, they have her go, she's supposed to show up at 4:00, so I've got some time to kill. And I'm like,
well, I mean, like, she's like, oh yeah, Rabbit's supposed to be here sometime this afternoon, and then you see her watch, and it's like 3:20. It's like, maybe you should have got there a little earlier, Koen.
Depending on which direction her watch is facing, maybe it's 12:05. I
guess it could be 12:05. But like that's the side of the watch, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. Typically
like,
speaking, that's not how you wear a watch.
On it. Like that would definitely be 3:20.
Oh well.
And she has a little internal dialogue about how Rubius doesn't seem to care, and then she's like, "No, I'm probably just imagining it. I'm sure he just accidentally squeezed that perfume bottle until it shattered."
Well, don't worry.
Like that is such. You know, like that type of logic, though, is so relatable, though, because people, especially when you have that type of like weird, unrequited like love, like you'll just excuse whatever, like whether it's like a small little thing that they might have done that might have been in your favor and you just hook on to that and you're like, no, they actually really like me, or you take something really bad they did, like crush your present to pieces, like, and you kind of justify, no, it's totally fine, like it's fine, you know.
Yeah and fortunately, while she is in this emotional distress, there's someone there to take advantage of it for financial gain with a scam.
Yes, obviously. As we have mentioned before, we don't know much about the Shinto religion, but we do know that the Hikawa Shrine in particular is kind of a money-making operation. Yuichiro shows up and immediately tries to sell her on a fortune, an amulet, or a prayer, which you would think a prayer would be free. Like,
or an exorcism.
I expect prayers on the cheap from my preferred religions.
He does offer her an exorcism. Don't forget.
Yes, he does.
But she goes for a fortune, and she gets her fortune told, and fortune telling is fake. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah, except that it's 100% accurate in this show.
No, it is not.
Because magic is real.
No, it isn't. What's the fortune?
Great blessings.
But then doesn't she say that her enduring wish is going to come true, which is not the case?
Yeah, but you don't think being healed by magic to become a good person is a great blessing.
Yeah, but it's not what her enduring wish is.
No, it doesn't say enduring wish. It says great blessing.
She opens it up and she says,
Yeah, that's her interpretation.
No. What she says is, she says, great blessings. It says my enduring wish will come true. That is a literal quote.
Well, not her enduring wish to be with Rubius.
Her enduring wish
an enduring wish to be a good person.
She does not have that.
She literally makes an enduring wish to be a good person.
When?
At the end of the episode.
At the end.
Yeah, which is like 10 minutes from now.
See, it's this kind of nonsense that makes it look like fortune telling is real. This equivocating.
In the show, fortune telling is real.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that fortune accurately depicted her fate.
Jordan White.
No, I refuse. I refuse to believe it.
Betty, would you like to co-host the show permanently?
For the record, I like crystals and I like fortune telling, and I actively read the tarot.
Yeah, but
I'm getting real tired of this. I don't want to name names. I'm getting real tired of this other guy on the show.
oh, there's only one other guy.
Not Jake.
Oh well, yeah, Jake.
So anyway, Kathy is about to put on some makeup to make herself more beautiful for Rubius. Rubius pops up in the mirror to talk to her. That's a new superpower.
No, that's probably their communicator. Just like
no, I mean it makes perfect sense because like the Black Moon Clan is all about mirrors. We've seen that.
Yeah,
We've never seen like Rubius just pop up in a mirror and be like, "Hey, what's up? You putting on some makeup?" My question is, how long has Rubius been sitting in front of a mirror,
Waiting,
like, staring at makeup powder, waiting for Cohen to show up?
I know she's going to do this eventually.
Yeah, she's gonna put on some makeup eventually.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna sit here. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, because honestly, like considering the fact that a lot of the Black Moon Clan is so obsessed with their image, I think he figured, oh, this is gonna happen inevitably. Or maybe there's a little signal when she opens it up. Who knows?
I feel like maybe if you knew people were like, it's not their fault they're obsessed with their images. The only furniture they have is mirrors.
Yeah.
True.
So
really
from there, she
else?
sees that.
I thought they had like a couch or something at one point.
They have like
no, because we see them like squatting down on the floor to put on their makeup.
What? I don't remember that.
Of when they were putting on their makeup outside after they fought Luna that one time.
Yeah, they're fixing their makeup.
Oh yeah. But that was not at their home.
No.
Okay.
So then Cohen turns her head to see Rei chasing Yuichiro around with a broom, trying to beat him with it.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand why Rubio. Sorry, that's
Mark Rubius.
Marco Rubius.
Oh, that was not what I meant. I'm trying to understand why.
Please no one draw that one.
No, just put a little Negamoon on Rubio's forehead every time you see him.
Oh my god.
Queen Bernie. Swirling that energy. No, do not. I'm not going to continue because I don't want this to happen. Do go on, Jordan.
What is he upset about? I don't understand. He's like, you don't have time to put makeup on. And she's like, I'm sorry. What? Why not?
It's already 3:20.
He says, if you're just waiting for her to appear, you're slacking off. And I'm like, what? In what capacity? What is she supposed to do?
Rubius is the retail store manager of the Black Moon Clan. He's like, hey, if you don't have time to stalk that little girl, you have time to do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just doesn't.
You can be cleaning right now.
Yeah,
but it's not. He doesn't care. Imbue the place with dark energy while you're there. Come on.
Well, like what is it, like? Because what is their goal with the makeup? Are they just trying to make some money?
I don't know.
Like because I get it. Like it just seemed like I guess like she was like it was kind of her means of investigating, saying, oh, like I'm making for little girls too. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah.
Yeah, but
because he says to her, "Get rid of every young girl who could possibly be the rabbit." As though like she was surrounded by lots of young girls, and Katsi was going, "Well, none of them are the one."
That's the thing.
So
like Rubius is just very casually says, "Oh, just kill every little girl there."
Oh,
like if you see a little girl, murder them. Like, just, keep on doing that until you're out of little girls. That's the best way to get rid of Rabbit. Which he's not wrong, but that is a weird thing to just casually say.
That's not a good method.
No.
I think it's just kind of like him just being like, oh, you're clearly doing nothing, Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to just kind of yell at. Like, it's like, hey, I'm at the place that you told me to be. I'm waiting. I'm not going to try to slaughter a bunch of little people like around me. Like,
there aren't any.
Yeah.
She's going to try to kill the first little girl she sees because it's the one she's supposed to kill.
Yeah, because it's not like the shrine is like bombarded by anyone, let alone little kids. You know,
if she was like, "There's rabbits at Euro Disney," and then she was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I'll kill every child," that would be like, "Okay, I get you."
Yeah, but it's the shrine where no one is at. I don't know.
Speaking of no one being at the shrine, we then cut to.
Wait! We did not. We didn't go over that brief scene where they pan to a bored-looking Venus or Minako.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
We haven't talked about Ray chasing Yuichiro around with a broom yet.
I thought you did. Okay, well, what would you like to say about it?
Okay, so we see Ray chasing Yuichiro around with a broom, threatening to beat him around the head with it because he forgot to feed the chickens, which, again, no one has bothered to write in to explain Shinto to us. Which I wish they would. Is it like a common thing to have like chickens, like to raise animals at a shrine? Like, is it also a functioning farm?
I have no idea.
But the other thing that's worth noting about this is that apparently Grandpa is like fully retired from the priesthood because it's just Ray and Yuichiro running the shrine now.
Don't read too heavily into this, dude.
Does he come back?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but I'm just saying until you see him doing something other than that, he could just be off screen, like because that's the way this show works.
Okay, fair.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him again. Yeah. But by the way, in the Deke dub, she's chasing with a broom because he has been singing again without permission, and he's
of course he needs that permission to sing.
And then speaking of the Deke dub, that's a good transition into the next scene because the Deke dub version of this I actually think is a little bit funnier. It's Venus and Jupiter hanging out at a cafe drinking, I don't know, smoothies or shakes or something.
Not with their girlfriends.
Not with their girlfriends. And the cats are both there. Luna is with Jupiter instead of Serena. And they go, where's everybody? Serena has gone to the shrine to borrow a comic book. Amy is, guess where, studying.
She is at cram school.
Yeah,
Classic.
even though it's a Sunday. And we know Mars is working at the shrine. And so then Artemis says, in the Deke version, his line is better. In the Deke version, he goes, yeah, and you guys are stuck with cats because neither of you have boyfriends. And they are so mad. Whereas in the Japanese version, he's just like, yeah, we're a bunch of losers with nothing to do.
I love the looks on their faces. They look so upset that they have to hang out just with each other. But they're not like upset that they don't hate each other, but they're just like, oh, everyone's busy.
Although last time we saw them together, they did get into a big fight.
Ooh.
I mean, they made up, but remember that was the whole Venus thinks that Jupiter falls in love too easily. And wait, what was it again, Chris? What was the critique of each other?
Their beef with each other was that Minako has never fallen in love, and Makoto is still in love with her senpai.
Right. Yeah, like Jupiter accuses Venus of like not letting herself fall in love or something. Weird.
Yeah, something like that.
So weird. Don't flick your cat's nose. It's not nice.
Yeah, I just love that scene because it's so brief, but just kind of like accounts for where they were during this whole day.
Yep.
It's just like, oh yeah, they seem like they had a perfectly fine afternoon. Then they had shopping bags, so they also went shopping, and they had drinks, and they're like, I'm bored. Where's everyone? Everyone's busy. I guess we just have to sit here. Like, I love that. That's such a great little bit. Like, I don't know. It's just like enough that adds to that. Like, oh yeah, that's where they were for this episode. They don't just show up at the end.
So then we cut to where Usagi is, which is in Ray's bedroom reading manga and cracking up. The manga she's reading has a giant Sailor V on the back and Artemis.
Yeah, so Ray is reading manga, and Ray is Are they still publishing the Sailor V manga?
I guess so.
Maybe,
Is that where Minako's getting her shopping money?
maybe it's like Lucasfilm rights. Like maybe they just bought the rights to her and she just like can just be a normal teenager.
So they own her forever. Maybe they just own her forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not
Could
only
be.
is Artemis
Could be.
on the back of this, he's also on the spine of this. Like, again, the cats should not be famous. Like, I get it makes sense for the girls because at least then you go, there's some sort of magic when they transform. The cats look exactly like themselves.
Remember in the video game episode,
Yeah.
or the episode where Shingo was playing the video game, Sailor Moon's lives were represented by bunny rabbits.
Yep.
You know, Usagi's.
Yep.
So, like, clearly the people who are in charge of licensing Sailor Moon know everything, and they are not shy about sharing it.
So we see once again when Sailor Moon reads manga, she likes comedy manga because she either that or she's a weird sense of humor because she is cracking up and laughing, kicking her feet.
Do we see the cover is it the same cover in the American version? Like, do we see her reading, like, Japanese manga?
Yeah. Oh wait. Actually, I don't know because I just watched the subs.
Let me look. I don't
in
think
the Deke
so.
version.
Probably not. They probably cut away. If you see it, it's probably for just a second because they don't like to focus on Japanese writing in the Deke versions.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering if they, like, replaced the cover art because, you know, we've seen them do a little bit of that before.
No, they definitely didn't replace it. It's just a question of whether they showed it at all. Here, let's see. Oh, here's okay. I'm at the scene where Artemis is about to get flicked in the nose flick. Oh, they cut that, by the way. They cut the nose flick.
Good.
Good.
Violence against cats.
You only see the cover for a second. They didn't change it at all. They just you just don't get to see much.
Okay. So, yes, Usagi is laughing fit to bust.
Do you think the Sailor V manga is funny?
Oh my God! Hold on.
I mean, Sailor
Pause.
Moon's pretty funny.
Okay, the top stack of the manga over her shoulder when she's talking to Rei has on the front cover Usagi and Chibiusa.
I think I did remember seeing that.
Yes. In the clothes that she's wearing in this scene. It's Usagi on the cover of the manga wearing the clothes she is wearing in this scene. Not her school uniform, not her Sailor Fuku. Like, it's just Usagi in her pink shirt.
It's just Ray's friend fiction.
She draws comics.
What if
about her
it
friends.
is? Oh, please. Okay, that's everyone else's new homework assignment is to write some of Ray's erotic friend fiction.
Wait, no, nobody said it was erotic. It's got a little child in it.
Well, no, don't put chibis in it. I mean, don't put the teenagers in it either. You know what? I'm just going off what they say on Bob Burgers. That's all.
Oh,
You made it weird, Jordan. You made that one weird.
Chibi's face is on the cover. Like, to be honest with you, I actually think what you saw as her shirt is actually Chibi's hair.
Is it?
I think so.
Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right. That is definitely Chibi's hair. Now that I look at it, so weird.
Very weird.
As they're talking, and Ray is trying to kick her friend out, there's someone at the door. Someone selling cosmetic products. A very casual way of saying that.
Yes. And she says, what does she say to them? She flatters them, of course, because that's what you do. And she said,
Oh, it's Cohen, by the way.
Oh, did we not clarify?
Yeah, just in case people aren't watching this episode right now. It's Cohen wearing a hat that covers her cat ears hair.
Because it makes her recognizable, except that no one ever recognizes her anyway, so... Anyway.
Except that no one recognizes her from the time that she was here in this building trying to murder Ray and her family specifically.
So she comes in and she says, aren't you two lovely young ladies? Which makes both of them go, and then she says, are you models? And they both go, oh yeah, do you really think I'm a model? Oh my God. Ray falls to her knees fantasizing about it, whereas like Usagi starts like bouncing around like a cartoon character.
She is a cartoon character.
That's why.
Jordan.
That's why.
Okay. Katsy, Cohen tells the girls that they can use her makeup, which, by the way, she has a suitcase full of makeup samples, which she did not have when she arrived. Not only is she wearing completely different clothes, but she also has different accessories to pull off this con.
Like, the only way I really believe that is if like this is dark energy makeup and it should be like corrupting them when they try to put it on. Except I think they don't really put it on, do they?
Well,
Yeah, they kind of resist putting it on.
see, that's why I was wondering if if the side, perk, I guess, while she's blowing off, like, waiting for the little girl to show up, she's like, oh, I'll just like let them use this evil makeup. But I'm the more I think about it, I think it's just like her makeup. It's probably just her makeup box.
Makeup?
Yeah, it's probably just her makeup box because it looks like it matches her everything else she uses.
Yeah, that's true.
And it looks like her compact too. So I feel like it was just her makeup box. Unless they're just carrying around like makeup samples at the Black Moon Clan headquarters.
I would believe that.
Yeah, I could see that too. They probably have a lot. Probably bought a lot of Clinique and like Chanel, and they have a lot of like little makeup samples over the years.
So she says, with this makeup, you'll get boyfriends in no time. And Ray
and both Ray and Usagi are like, we kind of have somebody, and then they bicker back and forth about how Mamoru has dumped Usagi and how Ray won't pull the trigger on this relationship with Chad. And then, in a very smooth part of the con, Kohen goes, by the way, are there any little girls here, like 5-year-olds, that I can murder?
Yes, I wrote, is there a little girl here? Like, that is a sentence you never want anyone to ask you ever.
And especially the idea like, oh, I have products for little kids. What?
Yeah, I've got some cool makeup for small, tiny children.
Now, before we talk about, before we move past that, there's something important in this scene that I think we need to talk about, which is that because before they get to that moment, they talk about like the nature of love again in like the thematic part of the episode and about what should be done and what, this and that and how it works. And here's the thing. Ray gives Usagi some advice that is, if you ask me, meant to sound like the smart, wise advice. And then Kohen gives advice that is meant to sound like the bad advice. Except that is wrong. Ray's advice is terrible. And while Katsi goes a little nuts with her advice, it's basically right at first. Because, okay, again, they're talking about Mamoru, who has dumped her, okay? As we all know, we're talking about a world of miracle romance. We're talking about destined moon lovers and...
A world where magic exists. A world where destiny and fortune-telling are completely real.
Well, destiny's real.
Yes, so the future is preordained, and therefore you can predict it with accuracy.
Well, if you could, except that's not what they do. But anyway, the point is, in this particular case, we know that Mamoru is, for a very specific reason, lying about how he feels, and we know that everything's going to be fine, and da-da-da-da. But Ray's advice is basically, hey, you should just trust that things are okay, and everything will be fine. And then Katsi's like, no, if you don't trust your boyfriend, you should be over it and be like, it's done. If you should get over it and move on with your life. And then she goes crazy and starts talking about other nonsense. But it's like, yes, generally speaking, when your boyfriend breaks up with you, you should probably move on with your life. You should not just be like, he's probably got a really good reason and he'll come back and everything will be okay.
I mean, he might have a really good reason.
Yeah, but
in which case you should be broken up.
Right, exactly. He's not going to come back and everything will be okay. Like, you're not supposed to just be like, I'll just trust that everything will work out. Like, no, you should move on with your life.
But I think what's supposed to be happening here is that, again, like, yeah, you're right. Like, there are extenuating circumstances for the miracle romance, like it or not. But what Kohen is saying is the exact opposite of the way she feels about Rubeus. Because Kohen is clearly, like, also trusting that Rubeus really loves her and was just being cold to her. Like she says, he was just being cold to me to motivate me.
Right.
So
she's able to see it in other people.
Kohen has a lot of romantic hypocrisy.
Ray literally says the words, "What is important is continuing to believe in him, no matter how coldly he treats you."
Oh,
Ray says that to Usagi,
which is funny because, like, if anything, I feel like that should resonate with Kohen more because clearly Rubeus treats her so poorly,
But I think the idea is that she's able to see it in other people, maybe.
Yeah.
Although the way she puts it is weird. Like she says, like something like being loved is the only thing that is important for a woman, or something like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, she takes it too far. She goes too crazy. But when she says, what does she say? Loving and having faith in him don't have much meaning. Continuing to love him even when he treats you coldly. Don't be so pathetic. That's what she says to Usagi. Which again, yeah, I think she's giving to Usagi the advice that somebody should give to her.
Yeah.
And then actually, another note, here's a place where the Deke version gets really, really weird. Because in the Deke version, Rei keeps saying to Usagi stuff about, you should apologize to Darien. And I'm like,
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds
what?
right. That
She's
sounds
like, hey, you didn't treat him right. And it's like, what? Like, she did not do anything wrong.
What are you talking about?
Rei thinks that that Serena didn't treat Darien properly. So
That's weird.
yeah.
I don't agree with that.
So anyway, is there a little girl here?
Yeah, so Katsy walks out. Katsy's bailing on this
I think that's
sitch.
what's so funny is that like she's like, hey, here's some of my personal viewpoints about love. By the way, are there any little girls here?
Katsy leaves just in time to see Rabbit show up. Now, for those of you who haven't been following along, Rabbit is Chibiusa. For some reason, they refer to her as Rabbit.
Because her name is Usagi.
Yeah, but like, why they refer to her as Rabbit in English?
Because the Dark Moon's intel is not good.
Well, I think what's weird is they have no reason to not just call her Usagi, because in their future, our Usagi, Sailor Moon, is no longer Usagi. She's Neo Queen Serenity. She has taken her queen name.
Because they must not speak Japanese, and so when they read the translation, it said there's a little girl called Rabbit.
I think they clearly speak Japanese, Jordan. I think that is clear.
Originally, they speak it now on Nemesis. Nemesis.
Right. Of course, they speak English on Nemesis. they built that wall to keep the Neo Crystal Tokyo people from coming in. Koen, quick change into her supervillain outfit. Again, love it. It's a shame we are not going to be seeing it anymore. Bid goodbye to this amazing striped bodysuit and feathered tutu combination that somehow works.
It's such a good outfit.
It's the best.
It's probably my favorite fashion outfit from like all of Sailor Moon.
Have you ever considered getting it to cosplay?
I would love to cosplay that, but I think it's a matter of like I think I'd want to do kind of like my own fashion take on it, like try to translate it in a way that would be wearable. But yeah, like that is one that I would love to cosplay. It's so cool. I need to find a huge.
I think
gem.
it is one that would look good translated into a casual cosplay where you were wearing like a shirt that looked like that.
Yeah.
And maybe like a skirt.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the whole bodysuit tutu ensemble.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's such a good outfit though. It's like probably my favorite. And it's such a good, like it's just overall a really good like aesthetic, you know?
The question is, can you get your hair to do that?
Oh, I know, right? I tried doing kind of a dango, but like as long as my hair is, and my hair is pretty long, like especially compared to a lot of my friends, like I can't really do a dango without like the rest of my hair being super short afterwards.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Because it all making the little buns, it takes up a lot of hair. I probably had to like get some extensions and just make the cat ears and then put them in my hair.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looking up Koen cosplay, like the hair is the one thing that and there are a lot of great Koen cosplayers out there. But the hair is the one thing that doesn't quite match up because it's such a cartoony hairstyle.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same way that like a lot of gem cosplayers can't really do like you know whenever you see anyone cosplaying like the Misfits, it's kind of hard to see the hair done right, you know. Mm-hmm. Though there are people who have done like there's a handful of people who are able to achieve full cartoon anime hair for cosplay, but I think that's the hardest part of most Sailor Moon cosplay for the most part. If you spend time on the wigs, it ends up looking like phenomenal, you know. And not to say that it looks bad without it, but it definitely adds that extra push where you're like, oh, they look like they just walked out of the anime.
Yeah. Whereas Berthier, if you are Elsa, you are halfway there.
Yeah. Right.
You are almost there.
Hey guys,
if you are already cosplaying as Elsa.
What if Disney princesses as Black Moon Clan? Hey BuzzFeed, like what if?
Very easy translation, I think.
Yeah, right.
So let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Who do we got? Who's Koen? Because Berthier is Elsa. Who's Koen?
We're doing Disney princesses as the Dark Moon Clan. Okay.
I think Belle is
Avery.
Calaveras.
Yeah. Pet. I'm trying to think.
But they're not mean. Disney princesses are not mean enough.
Well, I guess Elsa's like, it's weird because Elsa's like kind of like she's misunderstood for a bit. She's almost a villain, but she's not really.
Right.
Because I am tempted to say that like Cohen would be kind of a Maleficent, but I feel like that might be Pets. I don't know. I think it is a little hard because I think the Disney princesses aren't as high fashion.
I think
That
that
is
Disney.
true.
It would
That
be
is
much
true.
easier to do the Disney princesses as the Sailor Scouts.
Yeah, and that's already been done.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Elsa is the tuxedo mask of Frozen, in that all that entire plot is avoided with one conversation that never happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Hey, sister, I have magic snow powers and I might kill you.
Hey, Usagi, I've been having bad dreams lately, and they're telling you we should break up or you'll die. There you go. There's those two conversations. I just solved everything.
Oh, yeah.
So Chibiusa arrives at the shrine, and Cohen, Red Baron style, drops out of the sun back in her costume.
Red Baron style.
Look, that's his strategy, man. Fly out of the sun. They can't see you. Keep the sun at your back. And Cohen slams Chibiusa down to the ground, like violently.
Yes, that is true.
I'm glad a child getting slammed on the concrete provokes that kind of reaction from you, Jordan. Yes.
I mean, that's true. Listen, it's what happens.
This is why Jordan wouldn't be a good babysitter, kid.
I didn't say I was happy about it.
Because like if the child gets slammed in the ground, he would just say
Jordan's
yes.
just like, yep, that happened. That is a fact.
Yes.
Like he would just point.
Also, 5-year-old, magic isn't real. Like that would be his first thing as a babysitter.
No, I'm not going to tell the 5-year-old that.
You are. He listens to the show.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, look, I meant I'm not going to go out of my way to specifically go, listen, 5-year-old. But now that you're here,
You just did it.
You should start learning it, little 5-year-old. You should. It's your life will be better.
So Yuichiro tries to swat at Cohen with a broom, hits her in her beautiful, complicated hair, and she is very upset by this.
I love that reaction because, like, I've definitely had people who, like, you know, friends, and they and like after they eat like wings or something that's very messy, they just want to like touch me, like touch my face or something, but like just like out of like camaraderie or whatever. And then I'm like, don't touch me. You're filthy. Wash your hands. So I get the grievance of, oh my God, you just put a filthy broom in my hair.
Betty, youngest of the Spectre sisters.
Speaking of which, take a look at the link I just sent. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good bunch.
It's all four of the sisters and Rubius with camouflage pants.
his camo pants from the manga. That's a really good Pets too. Pets is really hard to pull off.
Oh God, they're the best villains. I love them so much.
They're really great. As a reason for why they are so great, we are currently seeing the last usage of Cohen's Dark Fire attack, which I love her.
Well, second to last.
I love it. I love her pose.
Yeah,
'cause it's a weird like pinup girl pose that becomes a Hadoken.
It's kind of like it. Well, it's totally like, you know, she's literally voguing, you know, and
Yes.
she like, because that's what I like so much about a lot of her poses, that it's all like amazing. It looks like it's a spread from a fashion shoot, you know. It's so cool. Like, I don't know, it just looks really, really pretty. And then like especially her attacks countering Mars's attacks. She like they both look so dynamic against each other, because also like Mars is kind of like Mars and Venus are kind of the glamour scouts, where they kind of pose in very glamorous ways with a lot of their moves also. But I think that's what kind of is nice to see Mars and Cohen fighting each other, you know.
The thing that I think is so cool about it, the part I like how their arms are like her arms are like snap into place like a weird rubber effect. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And she like clicks them into place. They go like.
Yeah, so Dark Fire is awesome. Like Dark Fire, I love everything about the attack. We actually get to see it twice because she does it to to Yuichiro, and then she's going to do it again to Yuichiro in a second.
But not on purpose.
Yuichiro's having a bad day.
He's just the victim of some projection that Cohen's going through, because I think that she's clearly taken out her Rubius aggression onto him.
Yeah, and also like literal projection of dark fire.
Yeah.
From her hands.
Wah, wah, wah.
Cohen's great. I love Cohen.
So-
but yeah, she's going after Yuichiro, and just as she's about to finish him off, she gets hit in the head with a rock. Because that's what Rei does, right? She throws rocks. She doesn't have any other attacks she could maybe do at this point.
Rei, having hit her with a rock, makes her angry, and then she's going to murder Rei.
Yes.
And then Yuichiro jumps in front of the fire and takes the blast for Rei. Again, this is the second episode where he's done this, correct? Didn't we have an episode set here where he did the same thing before?
Yes. They've been teasing the Rei Yuichiro romance and not following through with it for quite a while. And I mean, I know why.
Why?
It's because Mars and Venus.
What?
It's how it is intended. How it was always meant to be.
But she just said she has a boyfriend, sort of.
Yeah, well, sort of. She has a relationship.
Oh, that's not what she meant.
Literally an episode where her head goes right up Venus's skirt. That's
by accident, and Venus gets mad at her.
Nothing happens by accident, Jordan. You know that.
No, I believe that. Remember, I believe that it's just coincidence and accident. Anyway,
so Yuichiro gets knocked out, and so Rei finally decides that it's time to transform into the form that she has, where she can shoot fire of her own,
blowing her secret identity completely. This is
but
why
only for Cohen.
This is why you know she cares about Yuichiro, because she gets so upset. She just goes, forget the fact that nobody's supposed to know I'm Sailor Mars. I'm Sailor Mars.
Yes. And Cohen says, "You're a Sailor Guardian?" Which, again, she attacked Hikawa Shrine before. That's all. That's all. So Rei does Burning Mandala. Cohen teleports, which is new.
No, all the sisters can teleport.
I guess they can. I guess we saw them teleport in the last episode too. But she nightcrawlers up to the roof of the shrine, and we get some very determined running and a new version of Darkfire, where there's a swirl of fire, and then it comes right out of Cohen's tummy in a shower of fire. Very strange.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
She got that tummy fire.
And then does she do? Is it yet that she does the cool teleport attack? Yeah. She jumps at Sailor Mars directly, but right when she would slam into Sailor Mars, she teleports. So Sailor Mars goes like, "Wait, what?" And then she springs at her in a different direction and elbows her in the face.
Yeah, just clobbers her. Again, it's so weird when we see actual physical attacks. Because normally they're shooting out laser beams, or Burning Mandala is just a bunch of Sonic the Hedgehog rings that go everywhere. Moon Princess Halation is literally like throwing a handful of glitter at someone and it works. Whenever we see them fight, yeah, we see the roaring elbow from Cohen right into Rei's face. It's shocking.
And then she follows it up.
She gets a Mortal Kombat hit on her too. Rei goes flying.
Well, no, again, I don't know why she then decides to pick on Yuichiro again, but she's going to blast him again. I guess because Rei's right in front of him. Rei has to grab Yuichiro and jump out of the way, and she doesn't successfully do it, so she gets hit with the fire right in the leg. They don't explicitly say that her leg is broken, but it's pretty damaged.
It's burned.
It's burned.
It's burned.
She can't stand on it later in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So then Cohen is like, well, hang on. You could have just gotten away fine if you just hadn't stopped to pick up the dumbass.
The loser.
and Rei's like, no, there's no way I would have done that.
And then Cohen's like, oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. And Rei goes, you were the sales lady?
Yep. See, so she made the connection back to talking about her boyfriend. So
yeah, but Cohen wasn't in Cohen just looks like Cohen. When Cohen was running Protection Aesthetics, she even had a giant jewel on her forehead. There was no disguise.
But the sales lady
I'm
didn't
very-
have a giant jewel. So
I guess
that's why it was so
I guess
confusing.
you're right.
Cohen's like, he's not your boyfriend. So what's the big deal? Like, just let him die.
Yeah, unless you like we learned last episode, you can't want someone to not die without being 100% in love with them.
But Ray's like, no, forget it. I can't even stand, but I'll do my best to stand in front of you. That's when Cohen goes off the deep end and starts going, well, if that's what you guys think love is, you've got nothing compared to what me and Ruby's have. What? That fake, dumb, crappy love where you would stop each other from getting killed. That's some bullshit. We have cologne crushing bottle love.
So then Cohen gets another new power. She gets her Lady Deathstrike nails.
Oh yeah, for a second, doesn't she?
Yeah. So she says she's going to go finish off Rabbit. So she goes over to Chibiusa, pops some snicks out her Lady Deathstrike nails, and then what should stop her but a rose thrown from high above the arch at Hikawa Shrine.
Now, I will definitely say, when she goes, I'm going to go finish off Rabbit, my first thought was, what? Oh, right. Chibi is supposed to be here somewhere.
Yeah, Chibi got knocked out when she got her face planted into the concrete that you clearly did not care about.
Well, because it's been like 50 years since that happened. Like, Katzy stopped paying any attention to that at all.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Tuxedo Mask is like, yeah, you need to listen to a loving heart. And then we get a reaction shot from Katzy where she's like, what are you talking about?
I love
Like she
that
looks like
reaction.
a Charlie Brown character.
She's just like, what?
Pretty great.
Come, you sad lost soul, listen to the sound of a loving heart. And then she just blinks twice and goes, what? Like no one likes Mamoru. He says, listen to a loving heart, and then he jumps down, picks up Chibiusa and goes, farewell, and leaves.
Yep.
Like, listen to the sound of a loving heart. Like, that's a setup for a speech that does not happen.
Well, that's true. That's true. But on the other hand, he does save the entire. That was literally her entire mission, and he completely thwarts it in like 1 second.
I mean, look, that's Cohen for you. So Cohen is about to give chase, but then she gets Burning Mandolid from behind, and Ray's like, hey, don't fight him, fight me. And then Rubius shows up, and I don't know why Rubius didn't just show up the whole time. Like, if he could show up now, why isn't he going after Tuxedo Mask also?
Yeah,
Is a good question. Because they've only been running away for 4 seconds. You could probably still see them.
I mean, he's just micromanaging her, right? He's just like,
Yeah,
I've been waiting
totally.
for a million years.
He shows up to cross his arms and go, Cohen, have you finished with Rabbit? And she's like, no. She got away. And he's like, well, you suck. You've worked very hard for me for a long time, and I appreciate that, but we won't be seeing each other anymore. Like, he fires her. He literally, fires her in the middle of a battle with Sailor Mars. It's great.
Yeah, that is literally what happens. Again, I have to talk about the Deke dub just for a second because it's great. He says that he's done with her and stuff, and she says something like, no, it's everything's fine. Like, we're gonna make it through this because we have the power of love. And he's like, yes, love is powerful. And she's like, yes, that's right. See, we're in love. Everything is great. We're in love. And he goes, I said love is a very powerful thing because it can be used to control simps like you.
Oh, brutal.
Simps.
What a burn. Oh, what a nimbus.
Pretty great.
She says, hey, Rubius, just fight with me then, and we can kill Sailor Mars. And he says, I am very unlucky to have an incompetent subordinate like you. Which, again, we joked about the Dark Kingdom office, but, Rubius is treating her like an employee in a way that we have not seen before, and it's amazing. It's super great. He also tells her that love does not exist for the Black Moon Clan, which really surprises her. Which makes me feel like love does exist for the Black Moon Clan. Just Rubius is not into her.
But also, like, he knows it. Come on, that's ridiculous. He knows that she's in love with him. That's why when he asks her to go on the mission, he is not like, go on the mission. He comes over and goes, hey, Cohen, there's a rabbit's going to be at the Hikawa Shrine. You know what I mean? Like
that's your Kunzite voice.
Yes.
So after treating her like an employee, he then goes back to treating her like a supervillain. And he says, this is my first and last present to you. And I know we're like quoting the dialogue a lot, but the dialogue in this bit is particularly great. And he gives her a bomb and then tells her to suicide bomb Sailor Mars.
It's the Black Moon severance package.
Yeah, you get, like, you've worked for me for a long time, and I appreciate that, but here's a bomb. Please go suicide bomb the Sailor Scouts.
At this point, my note was, Ray, I'm right here. Like, why is Ray just sitting and watching this? Especially when they're sitting there going, why don't you find a Sailor Scout and destroy that? And she should be like, oh, how about I'm going to fucking shoot fire at you, asshole? So sorry, children. Sorry, children.
Ray's leg hurts, Jordan.
Oh, God. Well, good thing that not everyone's legs hurt.
Yeah, because right then, Venus, Jupiter, does anybody else show up, or is it just those two?
I think it's the whole time.
All of them show up.
Including Amy and Usagi.
Well, I guess Venus and Jupiter are the only ones who do something.
Yeah. They kind of like propel each other's attacks.
For some reason, Mercury bubbles are not employed here. Even the devastating final attack of Shine Aqua Illusion is not used here. Instead, the Venus Love Me chain knocks the time-space bomb out of Cohen's hands, and sparkling wide pressure blows it up in the sky. Which, again, like, hey, maybe find a different way of disposing of this time-space bomb that we've never seen before than just blowing it up right above everyone.
That's pretty risky.
But it does work out. It's fine.
Yeah, it's literally fine. So then, what happens? Well, in the Deke dub, they have a great line about when they are talking to Cohen. They say, we're talking about you, fashion freak.
Rude.
They do, like... But this is a really good scene because they're like, they're like the Senshi are there for a fight. They're like, yeah, hey, like, this is it for you, Cohen. And Cohen's just kind of sitting there, like, depressed. She's like, yeah, you're right. This is it for me.
Until
kill me, I guess. Whatevs.
No, until she goes wild and she tries to literally scratch all of their eyes out.
Cool.
She does. I forgot. She does get super angry again. Also, her makeup is all messed up. So
yeah, she's just crying and trying to murder them with her bare hands. She's forgotten. I guess she doesn't have the firepower anymore because he said something about her.
Rubius tells her that she no longer has the power to kill Sailor Mars. So I guess he takes that away from her.
Yeah. So she's just trying to physically kill them with her fingers. And
yeah, so that's when she makes the mistake of trying to hit Sailor Jupiter.
Right.
And Makoto is about to Muay Thai knee her in the face.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It is awesome. There's a wind up on this. It is a real Seth Rollins John Cena moment coming. Makoto's coming around with the knee. But Ray jumps in front of it, takes the knee in the ribs, dies.
She does not die.
Literally no way for Ray to have survived this hit.
She has Senshi healing factor.
Yeah, she's taken a lot of hits for people today. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, she takes this shot in the ribs, and then Makoto's like, why did you do that, dummy?
And
then Ray says, hey, it's all right. Everything's going to be okay. I know you literally tried to kill me and my boyfriend and my grandfather and my friend's future daughter. Like, you definitely, like, spiked her head off the sidewalk a few minutes ago. But hey, everything's going to be, we're cool, right? We cool? We're cool. That's pretty much what she says.
And then she turns to Sailor Moon and says, Sailor Moon, turn her into an ordinary woman. And
does. That's the thing she can do, right? Like, that's definitely a thing that we know you can do.
Yeah.
Right?
What? Sailor Moon's like, well, I wish I could. And then Luna and Artemis are just like, give it a go.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Like, what? Why not?
Why do we have to lose?
And so she does. She does this through a weird method. It's like her transformation. She holds up the crystal in transformation style, but instead says, what does she say? Moon healing power or something like that? Or, no, she just
moon crystal power.
Talks to it. Please, silver crystal, moon crystal power, and aims it at Cohen, and she turns into a normal person.
Well, she turns into a very nude person for a moment. That happens. But somehow she is refreshed like the rainbow crystal monsters.
Yeah, it refreshes her. She does yell out refresh, which makes me wonder, why doesn't she use doesn't she already have a healing? I don't know. Who knows? I don't get it.
Well, no, she doesn't, because she no longer has the moonstick.
Right. Why not? Because it went inside of her? I don't know.
Well, no, look, it was last season's thing. She doesn't have it anymore. My question is, and the thing that I wrote down is, what does it mean to turn, like when they say, hey, just turn her into an ordinary person? Like, what exactly does that mean? Because I don't think it's really clear until we started talking about it at the beginning of this episode. And I think you're right. Like, I think the Spectre sisters are powered by dark energy in the same way that they want the crystal points to be powered by dark energy. So removing that presumably takes away all of these extremely homicidal urges that Cohen has that have resulted in her bouncing a child's head on the sidewalk like a basketball.
Yeah. So then we get to the very, very fast epilogue in which Chad is wrapped in bandages like Invisible Man style.
His body is fully covered in burns, and Ray is still making him clean the floors like a real champ.
She's on a crutch though, so she can't. And then Katsy shows up selling makeup. She's now a makeup salesman for real.
Yep, she has a job. She got a real job.
The end. That's it.
I feel like we learned a lot.
We did. You're right.
But Jordan, do we have a Sailor Moon says for this episode?
Sure.
Katsy was one of the most relentless henchmen of the Negaverse. She was bad to the bone, and who would have thought she could change? But Ray saw the good in her that Katsy herself didn't realize was there. It's easy to write people off, call them mean or no good or too nerdy, but people can and do change. Maybe even Melvin one day. Just remember, there's good and bad in all of us, and it's up to us to decide what we're going to be. Sailor Moon says.
I didn't realize that Katsy was bad to the bone.
and she just really wanted to throw Melvin under the bus there at the end.
Yeah.
Let's just shit on Melvin for some reason.
Yeah, like kind of uncalled for, Serena.
I love it's like, oh, some people can be mean or nerdy.
Yeah, sometimes like no one's all mean or all good. Like me, I'm Sailor Moon. Also, fuck Melvin. What a terrible dick. Let's all make fun of him.
Oh, it's true.
I mean, that is legit though. He is pretty terrible. He does hide under the chairs in the lunchroom. So what did we learn from this episode? Betty, we'll start with you.
I learned that if you want to sell cosmetics to door, do not ask to see their children. Don't ask if there are little kids around after unsuccessfully talking about your cosmetics line and or love.
Are you interested in buying anything? No? Okay. In that case, do you have any children? Yeah, it's just very awkward.
It's so weird, but I think it's so funny, like that she probably thought it was such a sly transition. Oh, by the way, are there any kids around? I have some cosmetics for kids.
Jordan, what did you learn?
I learned that the most important thing is that you believe in your true love, regardless of how cold they act to you.
Regardless of how much they don't like you.
Yes. They break up with you and say it's over between us no matter what. Just keep believing.
I learned, and this is actually something from the episode that I actually did like. It's a little moral lesson that we get from Sailor Mars. She says to Cohen at the end, if you feel like your life went wrong, fix it a little bit at a time. And I actually think that's like a really good, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Just fix it a little bit at a time. Work on what you can.
I'll tell you, that's really great advice. Not at all what Katsy is doing.
No, Cassie fixes it all at once with the help of a magic crystal. Like, look, if you can fix your life with the help of a magic crystal, do that. Failing that, just work on,
And
like,
spoiler-
maybe go for a walk and do a push-up.
And spoiler, you can't. You can't. It is not a thing.
No, you can't. That is not a thing. A really great episode. It's a little frustrating because I like the Yuichiro Rei romance, well enough, I guess. But the fact that we have it teased out over so many episodes, like that it's a will they won't they thing for like 2 years, is a little annoying. But other than that, I really like this episode. I love Katzy. I love seeing a different side of her and getting into her motivation. I love that she doesn't go away. I love that she sticks around. That she just, she's a major villain who isn't just going to go away at the end of the season. I think that's really cool. I mean, she is going to go away in terms of the story, but she does get to like stick around after her villainous arc is completed. I think that's really nice.
You know what? It's probably for the best that Rei is not willing to go all in romantically with the guy that lives at her house when she's 14.
I mean, fair. That is fair. That's something I hadn't considered, but that is a fair assessment of the situation. especially when it's Rei Mina. Like that is even more canonical than Ami and Makoto. Betty, what'd you think? Good one?
Yeah, I love this episode because also I love I love when, because I love the idea of Katzy being like, oh, I'm a normal girl now. I just sell makeup. Like that's great. I like the idea that she is working in some capacity to like cosmetics and makeup and like fashion.
Would you like to buy some makeup?
In the Deke version, does she ask for little kids in her voice?
She doesn't ask if they have any kids. She is more subtle, actually, because first of all, she knows Rabbit's coming at 4:00, so she doesn't have to be as mysterious about it. But also, she says something like, "They're like, yeah, we don't have the money." And she's like, "Are you sure? I've got other things if you want. I have this. I have sunscreen for little children." And she's like, "No, thanks." So she doesn't specifically ask,
Yeah.
"Hey, got any little girls around?"
Yeah, no, this episode's so cute. I love it, and I do like the will they won't they between Chad and Rei, but I don't know. It is frustrating only because like sometimes it just feels like she doesn't even like him at all. But
She
I
just
think
likes that he'll die for her.
yeah,
Which is probably convincing every once in a while.
yeah. But I don't know. They're just like a side romance, because it's not like she's destined to be with Chad's not written in the story of their mythos, so it's not like she's destined to be with him or anything.
It's not a miracle romance.
Yeah, but I do like their little kind of shenanigans where you just kind of see them like shopping and he's holding all her stuff for her. Like that's cute. I think that's really funny.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, any more thoughts?
No, just I liked it too. I thought it was a blast.
This is a solid episode. Like we're gonna get into some. I know I've been down on it, but we're gonna get into some pretty good stuff before the end of our. Like I was telling Jordan and Betty, I forgot about Esmeralda coming up. That's gonna be fun.
So sassy. I love her so much.